Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. We are on the Isle of Cité, the island of the city, I guess, and we are at Justice, Palais de Justice, Justice Palace, Saint-Chapelle. This is the entrance, beautiful gate right here. So we are on the island right now. The CM goes that way and that way. I've been here before with you when we traveled to Notre Dame de Paris, the cathedral, and I thought this was a great gate. We're gonna go walking through the city, and I have a lot of subjects to talk about, current events. I'm gonna go over them, and then we're gonna talk to them. Not to them, but hey, you know what? I drank a Guinness again, so I didn't eat anything today because you have to keep slim. A gym, and but anyways, I'm a little bit let's put it this way, tipsy. We're doing great anyway, so please bear with me, and if you don't want, just god damn it. Oh, sorry. All right, so we have, first we're gonna find out we're gonna talk about the DJ Barbara Butch, that little fat fuck who was at the opening ceremony of the one that was pushed down our throats, our being the majority of our population, by the Olympic Committee. They thought it's a good deal to have this Butch. And I'm going to talk about who she is. She's a proud Jewish lesbian. And she filed a complaint of harassment. Can you imagine that? Yes. So she is harassed by the rest of us for being chosen to be the one on the opening ceremony of the Olympics, which was garbage. So I got some articles about that one. And she's an Ashkenazi Jew, is she? Yeah, all right. Nothing wrong with that, but we always love to know who's who and what's what, because that could play a part into understanding the dynamics of our society. The next one. We have, I'm going to come back to this subject. I'm just going to enumerate the topics of today's video. Let's rest this thing. Rest in peace right here. The next one, we have Erdogan, the president of Turkey. He's going down the same path as Saddam Hussein. Israeli foreign minister says. You know what that is? That means they're going to go and kill him. That's the plain language of this. He's going down that path, says the Israeli foreign minister. Now imagine if someone would say something like this, the same thing about the Israelis. Would he be accused of something that we shouldn't give a fuck about? Remember, I drank a beer, so I might be a little bit of a loose mouth today. Like, he's not a pretty mouth, doesn't he? You know that movie? Anyway, next one. We find out who this guy is, the Butch, Barbara Butch. And then we have Hamas leader. Hamas leader, one of the Hamas leaders, was killed in Iran's supreme leader vows severe punishment for Israel. So Israel hits whenever it wants, obviously, and nobody will do anything, because if they do something, the bully boy will be around to smack them in the head, and that's all they need. They need a reason, and if they don't have a reason, they're gonna make a reason. And if they don't make a reason, they don't give a fuck. All right, move on. Assassination of Hamas leader, Iran accuses Israel and vows to make it regret the act. Its act. For me? Wanna be in? Hey, how are you? There you go, got some friends here. Yeah, I don't think that's France, boy. France is hijacked. Anyway, next one, Israel-Hamas war. Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh killed in Tehran strike. So the Israelis, a country, struck another country's capital with whatever missile and killed a person they didn't like. Now, imagine that, let's say, wherever you live, let's say you're in France, the Germans will do that because they don't like one of someone that is in Paris right now, and they would hit. Do you think that is acceptable? And then Paris will decide to do the same thing to Berlin, and we'll say, you know what, is there someone in Berlin that we don't like? And you know what, we're going to fuck him up. How about that one? So that's the way you de-escalate shit. Opa, a little thing. Next one. Paris 2024 Olympics. A disgrace. This is what Donald Trump said. But he talks about the opening ceremony of the Olympics. But he's going to defend the same chosen ones. Donald Trump accuses Kamala Harris, garbage, of, and I'm quoting right now, not loving Jewish people, end quote, and attacked her husband being Jewish. Now, why do we have to have this kind of thing as a measure? If you love this group or you don't love this group, why do you have to have this as a measure? Why don't we have the Romanians? Oh, Kamala Harris doesn't love the Romanians and Donald Trump loves the Romanians. Why is that this tiny minority on this planet, very, very wealthy and always a victim? Why? Don't make this an universal measure. This is exactly what they try to do. They try to push it on the entire world. All right, I'm going to talk about this later. All right, next article. Now, Israel prepares itself for retaliation after Hamas leader killed in Tehran. So, what do you think? Of course it's going to, but remember who's the victim here? Israel. All right? So, Israel prepares for retaliation. And then when Iran will retaliate, then the Americans will say, Israel has the right of self-defense, therefore is going to do whatever it wants with our missiles, our taxes, and so on. But hey, we know who the perpetual victims are, and we know who the aggressors are. But there's only one country, only one, not the United States of America, that is attacking everybody else around in self-defense. Only one. Now, I'm not saying they are not attacked. I'm not saying that Israel is not, but you always go to the basics. Why? Why? Well, you know, the occupation or creation of one little thing led to this and led to that. What do you expect? When I'm back to the Notre Dame Cathedral, I feature this in another video, and I'm going to cross back to go towards the Invalides where Napoleon is buried. We're just walking through Paris. Beautiful, beautiful atmosphere. Clean city. There are some beggars around, but overall it's a clean city. They have everywhere, and I like that. They have pigeons, but I also have garbage cans, and they change this every morning. I saw that. So that's a good deal. Now, next one. We have death of Hamas leader. Russia and China condemn, and I'm quoting, it's in quotation mark, assassination of Ismail Haniyeh. So it was not an assassination because it's in a quotation mark, or whatever it was. What do you think it was? Well, that is a government ordering its military to hit in a sovereign country. And then if you do that, then the other side is entitled to do the same thing in self-defense. And how do you figure things out? Who started it? I tell you who started it. The ones who took someone else's property. And that is the only time in history when one global organization decided to take something from some and give it to others. Oh, was it Kosovo too? I don't think so, because I don't think United Nations did much about it. Nevertheless, so Russia and obviously China are the bad dudes in this. That's how the story goes. Next one. Paris 2024 Olympics, Barbara Butch files complaint, as I said, for cyberbullying after the opening ceremony. Now, obviously, I'm against death threats and threats to cause violence, against a person, institution, or whatever. I'm against that. But I should be all allowed to criticize someone and say what I have in my mind, my assessment, my opinion on the people. So this is the person who's the victim here. Remember, she's the victim, okay? That little beautiful fuck up anyway. Why did they pick that? Shove it down the majority's throat. And I'm going to read you how the article goes with it, with this bullshit. Next one. Where are we? There with me. Next article. Israel announces death of Hamas military leader Mohammed Deif in July strike in Gaza. So they killed another one in July in Gaza. Not only the one in Tehran, but in Gaza as well. Why? Self-defense. Remember, self-defense doesn't allow you to break international law or to commit war crimes. But nevertheless, you know, if you have the right people in the right places, then you are allowed to do so. 2024 Olympics. Shocked by the opening ceremony, an American company has withdrawn its ads from Paris 2024. And this is according to RNC. And this is from the, July 31st. And why I picked this one is not because someone did that. Mel Gibson also said some things about boycotting this garbage. And I'm sorry for the athletes, obviously. But the guys who organized this are just destroyers of our civilization and culture, and we have to push back. See how nicely I picked the word push back, not fight back. So in this article right here, right there, I'm going to read for you the first. I'm not going to go 2 times over this garbage. The first line, and this is it: inclusive and very involved in the LGBTQ plus cause. The opening ceremony of the 2024 Olympics, Paris Olympics, received many congratulations in France and some criticism, notably for a controversial passage where some saw it as a caricature of the Last Supper. No, it was not only that. And if you just get stuck with that one, you're an imbecile. All right? No, it was not about that. It was taking a shit over our culture. Now remember, that's a tiny minority. So where's the inclusiveness? You excluded a majority by including a minority. Unless they are trying to shame us into, if you don't like that, you're a bigot. Fuck off. All right? That's how, these are my words about that beautiful statement. So that's inclusivity by excluding. They want us to accept them. But if we don't accept them, or not accept, dislike, simply dislike, you can't. You're not inclusive. But if they don't accept you, why? Because you have to align yourself with their, I don't want to call it values. Next one. China can force Russia to stop the war, Zelensky says. Well, so can US by stopping this war. Remember, my assessment of this is a push coming from the US, from the interests that harness or, shackled the United States of America. It's not about, they try to put it now that it's China. They try to switch it into, if China doesn't act, it's because of China. China can stop that. Yeah, but the other guys could have avoided it in 2021, if you remember, when the Russians tried to figure things out and have negotiations regarding Ukraine, and this guy said no. So no, don't put China as being the ones, they don't want, they could stop it. No, the US can stop it. The United States can stop it today. Why? They have to just say we're not going to do it anymore, and that's it. And start negotiating. Next one, Ukraine received first F-16 fighter jets. So Ukraine received 6 fighter jets, and they're very happy about it. And I will tell you what kind of missions they will get involved in. Next one. Putin strengthens justification for Iranian aggression against Israel. Institute for Study of War. Remember, Institute for Study of War is just a Washington, D.C. based, Victoria Nuland associated so-called think tank. Why? Because the person in charge of that is none other than her sister-in-law. They're both the brothers, Keegan brothers. Go and check them out. So Institute for the Study of Wars, but these guys are always, Ukrainska Pravda, are always quoting this Institute for the Study of War from the beginning of the war. Why? They were ordered. They have to. So remember, now they try to say Putin is against Israel. Well, if Israel fucks up, I think we should just speak out. All right? Next one. Time, again, Ukrainska Pravda, Time reports on, and I'm quoting, uneasy relations between Kamala Harris and Zelensky. No, don't buy that. Don't buy that at all. That is just a game. They play a game. Why? Because Kamala Harris is married to a her chief of staff of the White House is a Zelensky Stein, and these guys, Blinken is a Zelensky Stein. So I don't think Kamala Harris has any power anyway. So I would say that it is the Zelensky Steins who have power over her. So yeah, they play a game like, oh, she's not. Without AIPAC, they have no power. I'm talking about the presidents and many, many other, how do you call it, political figures. That's what it is. Then what do we have next? The next we have F-16 fighter jets in Ukraine eventually. Everything we know so far. Okay, what do we know so far about that? They arrived and so on. Volodymyr Zelensky calls on China to pressure Russia, not mediate. These guys are just living in a different, again, another garbage can over here. Next, let's see what we have here. Ukrainian Air Force to deploy F-16s for air defense and precision strikes. That's all. And they're going to tell us what they're going to use the F-16s for. Now we're going to go to Sputnik. Obviously, the Russians will tell us a different story. Ukrainian army drafting 30,000 new recruits monthly since May. So, May, right? June, July. So it's 3 months. That's almost 100,000 recruits, according to reports. And we have Israel reports successfully strike on Hamas military chief Deif. U.S. Democratic Party set to select Harris, so she's going to be the one, as 2024 presidential nominee in online vote. So she is going to be the one. That tells you the level of sophistication of the electorate, if you can have that person. I remember, my friends, I have no issue with the sex of that person, the sexual preferences, or but this is what I have a problem with. When you have a mediocre at best person, and I have a public that's going to vote supposedly for that person, I have a problem with her credentials, and she has, I don't think, enough credentials to even be a dog catcher in a village in Montana. That's my assessment of Kamala Harris. Now, Ukraine receives 6 F-16 fighter jets from Netherlands, so they're good to go. Good. Ukraine will not restore transit of Russian oil to Slovakia and Hungary, Prime Minister says. The Ukrainian Prime Minister, whose name is very Ukrainian, his name is Denis Zhmyhal. He's Jewish. Yeah, he's in charge of the Ukrainian nation, as Zelensky, as Yermak, as Reznikov used to be, and now the defense minister, who is a Tatar. All these guys are all Ukrainians, you know what I mean? Yeah. Why? Because the Ukrainians cannot do it on their own. They need diversity. So Peter Szijjártó, the foreign minister of Hungary, whom I like very much, is going to tell these guys back the fuck off. So this is the fight between, how should I put it? Straight, right? Some people want to force a country to do whatever they want by blackmail them. All right? And that's exactly what it is. This is an economic terrorism, but they're not going to call it that way because they do it. And another thing here, I'm in the great city of Paris. Correct? Correct. So remember, we are here, and I'm trying to access sometimes the Russian press, which is Sputnik, and I can't access Russia Today. Sputnik is still works, but Russia Today, no. Whenever I try to access Russia Today, it gets to the Moscow Times. Moscow Times is the bullshit media outlet owned by the West, if I remember correctly, because it's Moscow Times. But it's still right here, and as an evidence, I give you right here I'm gonna see it, my search thing, and what comes first, Moscow Times. So this is one of the arms of the Seine, or Siena, whatever you want to call it, the river that crosses Paris. So now let's go to the first article, and let's talk about them in detail a little bit more. So DJ Barbara Butch, and I'm quoting, this is according to Attitude. It says, I'm quoting, "I'm a fat, Jewish, queer, lesbian, and I'm really proud." Good for you, but I should not be forced to like that, right? But she's proud, good. Should I say I'm proud and I'm a... Yeah, I should be able to say that. And it says, the French DJ is one of the pride icons. honored at the 2023 Attitude Pride Awards. Right? So she was awarded with many things. Good for you. Good for you. I don't have anything about against them being awarding themselves with things. The problem is when they're spoken, then you have these guys awarding one another, and then say, oh, she was awarded 15 awards, but they're all among themselves. But you don't know that unless you call. You check it out, and you need some time to check it out. The same with the Institute for the Study of War. If we just look at the Institute for the Study of War, sounds very nice. It's a Washington, D.C. think tank. Therefore, it's fantastic. But if you look into it a little bit, you find out this is garbage. This is Victoria Nuland and company, the Americans. All right? And we have here from Wikipedia, obviously, Leslie Barbara Butch, known as Barbara Butch, is a French disc jockey and lesbian activist. Why do I need to see at International Olympic opening ceremony? Because some people decided. Who were those? If they were like us, they are traitors, cultural traitors at this point. Now, she campaigns for fat acceptance. No. You're fat, you're most likely unhealthy according to medicine. And I care for you, that's why I tell you to slim down, baby doll, lose some weight. For what? For fat acceptances. You're not discriminated, but I personally would not hire you if you're fat and you want to do something where physical activity really is needed. Why? Because you're going to be slow and you're going to get tired fast, and I'm not going to hire you for that. That's why fat athletes don't make it. All right? So we have here, fat acceptance has made a short film extra large. She was awarded the Outdoor of Gold 2022 Personnalité LGBTQ de l'année. Of the year, all right, LGBT personality of the year by the French Association of LGBTI journalists. So among themselves, that's what it is. This is the person. So just so you know, and here's it goes first. It says early life. Leslie Barbara Butch was born at the Marie-Louise Clinic in the 9th arrondissement of Paris, where her mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother were born before her. Her mother, a secretary, was Ashkenazi Jewish, and her father was a house painter, was a Moroccan heritage, and she grew up in a traditional Jewish family. Right, so now we know who the makers, or at least of our cultures, are nowadays. Erdogan is going down the path of Saddam Hussein. So is Israel going to assassinate or try to assassinate again? Not Israel tried to assassinate Erdogan, but you know who did in 2016. Right? Imagine that a country will say such a thing about another leader. How would you call that country? A terrorist country? How would you call that? And we have here, all right, next one. Hamas leader dies. Iran supreme leader vows severe punishment for Israel. We already discussed that one. When you are hitting targets in another sovereign independent country, the country will hit you back. So I think they want to provoke Iran to retaliate or to attack. Therefore, the Americans will intervene, and the Europeans, of course, the ones that are owned, they will intervene and say, well, we have to intervene because Iran is the problem, not some people who sit on someone else's land. All right, next one. Assassination of Hamas leader. Iran accuses Israel, and Israel says, yes, it was us, I guess, right? And then we have the military leader of Hamas, one by one, in other countries or in other locations. Paris 2024 Olympics, a disgrace. Donald Trump attacked the opening ceremony. All right, well, good for you. Good for you. Good that you did that. Next one. Donald Trump accuses Kamala Harris of not loving Jewish people and attacked her husband. Why do we need to love particular people or not? As I said before, why should that be anybody's measure in being a good person or a bad person? I have nothing to do with that person's history. Fuck off. Well, Donald Trump says something else. This is what Donald Trump says right here, and I'm going to quote him directly. He says, we cannot afford to become insensitive to suffering, and I will not be silent, she said after the meeting with, that's her, not him, after a meeting with whomever. And then he says, he's about her husband. He's Jewish, like Bernie Sanders, is Jewish. Are you kidding me? Bernie Sanders, a progressive American senator, communist that is, has called for limiting military and aid to Israel war effort. End quote, the host said, and Trump says yes, replied. So this is what the host said about that little thing. And he's not, and I'm quoting, he's a rotten, okay, end quote, the host added, and Trump said yes. Trump replied, says, Rosenberg then called Doug Ehrenhoff, and I'm quoting, a bad, end quote, without being contradicted by the former president. Well, without being contradicted, like it's a given, you have to do that. So again, Trump, I think, if you have to suck a group's dick in order to have a chance to the presidency, that tells me you are sold. Or the country is in bad shape. Next one. Oh, red light over there. Now, Israel prepares for retaliation because they are the victims, remember? Death of Hamas leader, Russia and China condemn assassination. Well, and this is escalation of usual hatred. Some Western guys just defended the perpetual victims, obviously. And then we have here that she filed, which is Butch, filed a complaint for cyberbullying after the opening ceremony. Yeah, be French a little bit. Yeah, show us, baby doll. Show us. There you go. Oh, all right. That's the angry bird. Up, ding, ding. Come on, move your shit. Oh, she can go? Oh, all right. All right. Israel announces a death of Hamas. We already got that one. And we got the company withdraw its ads from from Paris. Well, many more should do that, but the problem is we got a rotten system that first pushes for this kind of garbage that was the opening ceremony of the Olympics. I think it was not inclusive. I think it was exclusive of the majority. And if we would be a democracy, or at least have a democratic system, and we had free speech, such a things would be out. But that's why I read an article where they said that the Olympics this time had a lowest participation rate, and I'm talking about the people going to that. They say, well, because of that. I don't think because of the opening ceremony, because if you paid $500 for a ticket, I don't think you would just stay home after you saw the opening ceremony. Why? That shows character, and I don't have that kind of faith in them. China can force Russia to stop the war. So can the United States of America force you to stop the war? No, we're independent. What is this guy talking about? But anyway, this is per Zelensky. Ukraine received first F-16 fighter jets, Bloomberg. The first batch of F-16 fighter jets has arrived in Ukraine. There you go. This is the Bloomberg says. And it says, Bloomberg sources say that the Western allies committed to delivering the first F-16 by the end of July. Now this is 1st of August, and met that timetable. So they're in. They described the number of aircraft as small. Well, good for you. The sources did not specify whether the Ukrainian pilots who are trained to fly the F-16 would be permitted to use the transferred planes right away, or if they would have to wait. I don't think they would use them. I think it's going to be the NATO pilots. I explained that many, many times why. I'm going to go here to a beautiful statue. According to Bloomberg, Ukraine is expecting to receive 6 F-16 fighters from its Western partners this summer, and a total of up to 20 aircraft by the end of 2024. On July 10th, the leader of the United States, Denmark, the leaders, this is tell us what they did. Putin strengthens justification for Iranian aggression against Israel. This is what these guys are telling us from the Institute for the Study of War. Remember, they are that kind of Zelensky-Stein enterprise. They are not American enterprise. They're owned by the same guys. And they try to pinpoint Israel against Russia. We'll see. We'll see how that will play. And we have here the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs issued a statement condemning Haniyeh assassination, which it is noted took place during his visit to Tehran for Mosaud presidential inauguration. So these guys killed that guy while he was participating in an inauguration. There you have it. Russia's decision, I'm quoting, to publicly blame Israel for destabilizing peace proposals in the Middle East and indirectly threaten Israel with dangerous consequences demonstrates Russia's increasing willingness to publicly align with Iran amid deepening Russian-Iran military cooperation. No, that's a big lie. It's not so. You just want to pinpoint this together. Next one. Time reports an uneasy relations between Kamala Harris and Zelensky. No, that's a game. It's not true. I disagree with that. She's married with one of them, and she will not be on the ticket if they don't let her. So it's just a game. Just a game. F-16 fighter jets in Ukraine. Everything we need to know so far. Ooh, let's see. The first Western F-16 fighter jets may have appeared in the Ukrainian skies, according to several influential Western media outlets and politicians. These are the guys in the system. And whoever is in the system are the operatives, the ones that make the news for us and tell us what to do. I'm going to show you on my right, there will be some police officers making sure that we are safe. Right there on my left now. So, there you go. I don't want to be too obvious, obviously. However, Ukraine has not officially confirmed the information. New Voice of Ukraine has gathered all the available information regarding the potential deployment and use of F-16. Okay, well, let's move on. Let's see what we know. So the first batch was received already, and they're in the skies of Hawaii, Ukraine. Again, Zelensky says that that China can pressure Russia. I don't think so. Ukrainian Air Force to deploy F-16s for, this is the reason why they deploy them, air defense and precision strikes. But they are not the newest F-16s, because the newest are 1970s, these are 1920s, biplanes. All right, or Mr. Baron Richthofen, now I remember. Thank you very much, guys, for reminding me. I can remember his name, Manfred von Richthofen, the Red Baron. Remember the triplane? Right, now I have him fresh in my memory. Ukraine's military expert addressed unconfirmed reports of Ukraine receiving F-16 fighter jets from Western countries during an interview with New Voice of Ukraine radio on August 1st. Good for you, good for you. They will go as every others. The European fighters transferred to Ukraine are not the latest F-16 models, he said. Now, I think that's a crime when you do such a thing. I think that's a crime because you expose pilots, whomever is going to pilot those, to being shot easily by the Russians. And I'm quoting, these jets will primarily be used in air defense systems to destroy cruise missiles and drones, this guy said. Okay, my friends, good for you. Ukraine army drafting 30,000 new recruits monthly, the Russians claim. Israel reports that, and then we have that Kamala Harris is going to be the Democratic nominee because they voted online. Good for them, good for them. Ukraine received 6 F-16s. They will be down in the first or second attempt. That's my expectation. And Ukraine will not restore transit of Russian oil to Slovakia, Hungary. Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal said. All right, he says, the sanctions imposed by the National Security of Defense Council of Ukraine do not pose a threat to the energy security of Slovakia and Europe as a whole, which is why their cancellation is not a subject of discussion. Therefore, we have full understanding from Brussels of this issue. Shmyhal, the Ukrainian, said on Telegram on Wednesday. So Shmyhal, with his Blinkenstein and his whomever else, they decided, we decided it doesn't pose a threat to your economy. So you know what you're going to do? You're going to buy from the Americans 3 times a premium price. That's what they did with the liquefied natural gas, if you remember. And this is the American capitalism competition. How do you out-compete others? By eliminating them, by making it illegal for them to sell their product on the market. We're going to come and help. And you know why we're going to help you? So you cannot be blackmailed by the Russians. But guess what? You can be blackmailed by us. But since we are the good people, we're never going to blackmail you. We're just going to use it as sanctions whenever we feel like, my friends. This is how the garbage works. So that's it for today. And it was a long 34 minutes. And this is a summary. It's not the way I would have liked to make it. I'm going to post this pretty soon. I'll be here for about 6 more days in Paris. And I will try to keep you updated on this kind of current events. So I want to make a video. Next one is going to be more a philosophical video, and I will talk about I took a screenshot on what I want to do, and I don't want to say squat here, so let me see what I want to discuss in one of these videos probably after this, and if I find it right here. I'm more and more convinced that these guys, the owners of our countries and our cultures, don't want to destroy our cultures only because they hate them from centuries, but because that's the way you rule. I think they just want to turn us into plebeians, just baboons. Therefore, it will be easier to control us and to have us be in the matrix, working and working and working rather than you police in a corner. I think that's the goal, but I'm gonna talk about it in more details in the next video. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. See you guys.